Hi, everybody. Michael Henderson Anderson Dorland here, talking with Step Pope Richard.
Hello.
Yeah, largely because what we were told that we should do something every other weekend because it goes back and forth between our cult ritual of sitting in the pool drinking margaritas. Like Richard doesn't get to participate in it because he lives in Wyoming. He doesn't live down here in Tucson. And unfortunately, we're not going to get to do it much longer because it's now end of September. It's getting cold and everything like that. So, anyway, Dr. Jess and the council and everybody decided we should have a live show about the good word in between. And as you can see, they're not here, but we're here. I think largely because they said, what did they say? They said, yeah, we're not doing it because we need a break from everything. Not sure.
I can sympathize.
Are you saying you need a break from it too? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
that's not what I'm saying.
Oh,
But I can
okay.
understand why somebody might.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow, it's thunder and lightning here. I wonder if we'll get knocked offline.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's a lovely day here. Blue
Yeah,
skies as far as the eye can see.
it's South Dakota, or it's Wyoming, which is right next to South Dakota. So let's see how well that holds up in about a month when the snow starts falling, okay? At least I don't have to like shovel the walk or anything like that. So
Rain shovels itself.
rain shovels itself.
It needs a
Yeah,
little gravity.
sort of, yeah. Anyway, hi everybody. We're going to talk, we actually have a topic to talk about today.
And what is that topic?
I don't remember. Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah. Avoid.
games.
Oh, I thought it was avoiding reality. I was really hoping we were going to talk about avoiding reality and the dumpster fire that is the world that we live in today.
Well, indirectly.
Yeah, that's true. I was impressed last time we had our show when we didn't talk about politics that
Yeah,
much. That was very good that we didn't talk about politics. I'm going to
we
try
managed
not to
pretty
talk.
well.
I'm going to try not to talk about politics this time too, but in regard to how to avoid talking about politics and how not to have politics and the real world drag you into the mud in such a way that it's hard to get up in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. But here we are.
So having gone away from the concept of drinking yourself to sleep at night, or a handful of pills or something like that in order to deal
I,
with the current situation,
I've got a long-term project of counting to 1,000,000.
uh, counting to a million when you go to sleep at night.
Yeah, it sends me right off to dreamland.
But what do you do during the day when you're not working? Because we have to work.
I,
It's
I play games.
play games, right? Yeah, we're not going to talk about your Valheim addiction that much, but yeah, it's bad. You should see somebody about that. How many hours have you put into Valheim since I got it for you back in May?
Oh, that's a good question.
How,
No, it
yeah,
was longer ago than that,
I
wasn't it?
I
Had to have
thought
been.
it might have been. It might have been. It has not been
Let's
near as
see.
long as I owned it, and I know you've doubled your hours on it.
Playtime 998.1
Oh
hours.
my god.
But a lot of that was the computer sitting on the login screen or the choose your character screen.
Okay, so yeah, you're sort of comparing it to like my roll 20 hours of play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I quit leaving it just running on the start screen to avoid further inflation of my time in the game. But there was a period there when I went about a week just letting it sit there. So that added in,
yeah, I can see
which,
that.
uh, based on what I've seen in the Reddit and subreddit for Valheim, less than 1,000 hours still is um, kind of unremarkable
Oh,
based on people have multiple thousands of hours in the game.
if everybody jumped off a cliff, would you do it too? I mean, anyway, we're gonna.
I'm not saying I'm emulating them. I'm saying I'm more normal than some.
Oh, okay, that's good. So anyway, one thing we're talking about here is we're talking about first off how the Cult of Brighter Days is a community. And before we start talking about things like games and everything like that, I do want to bring up the fact that we do have a Discord channel. And as you can see on the side of the screen here, I'm showing it. This is our
Hmm.
Discord channel. And although the video that we put out yesterday said we have a vibrant, Discord channel, I'd like to put out it's vibrant in the sense that a desert wasteland is vibrant. This is a call for people who actually want to have conversations about the topics that we bring up in a safe space, in a safe environment, and everything. Sign up, come in here, ask questions, talk to us about things, ask us about anything. We'll answer it. Those people on video, Richard, will say, "Ask me anything" when they hit
Hmm.
1,000 subscribers or something like that. I'm like, well, hell, we'll just tell you anything whenever you want. We don't really care.
Yeah, I'm happy to chat about whatever. I know a little bit about everything.
And it's not like we have a life or anything, so we're going to be on there. So actually, no, we have a life and we have to work, but we usually stick it to the side so that if somebody does come in, we can chit chat and everything like that.
Yeah.
But it also has information about our game servers that we're running. Currently, we have a Minecraft server and we have a Valheim server that we're running. We did have a Wyland server, but I think we're going to focus on the Minecraft and the Valheim server right now. And then we are going to be setting up some game events and game days on places that are for online play, such as Grand Theft Auto online, Red Dead Redemption online. Because, again, we're like a community, and not everybody can come hang out at the pool and drink margaritas. So sometimes we have to go buy an apartment in Grand Theft Auto so we can hang out at the pool and drink margaritas. And we want to have a virtual community as well as our in-person practical community to work with and everything. So that's my advertisement for going to our Discord server and saying hi and joining up. And I'm going to go ahead and show a little reel I had put together back in the day about our video game servers, real quick, because I thought it was pretty cool and everything to talk about what we have. And then we'll figure out what the heck we're talking about when we get back.
Welcome to the Cult of Brighter Days, virtual sanctuaries, where digital freedom meets community. Explore digital communes spanning multiple game worlds, where chaos and order are balanced on our terms. Why virtual communes? Late-stage capitalism commodifies relationships and spaces. We offer genuine community without interference. Here you can retreat from modern demands and experiment with alternative social structures. In Minecraft, we have communal storage, beginner zones, and advanced automation with creative representation of our philosophy. In Valheim's wilderness, we unify through struggle, create architecture blending function and philosophy, and forge connections. Yeelands lets us experiment with complex creations, create immersive dialogue environments, and prototype our ideas. These communes are more than games. They are extensions of our philosophy and genuine communities. Whether seeking respite, connection, or a sandbox for exploration, there's a place for you. Plus, it's the only way Michael's going to get his island. For now. The Cult of Brighter Days, a cult that isn't a cult about a joke that isn't a joke. No actual cults were formed. You know you'll fit right in.
So we're back chit chatting and everything.
Here's chit chat with Step Pope and our beloved founder.
Right now we're looking at the channel for Valheim that we have on our server. Like I said, you know, we thought about putting it behind, a Patreon, get into our servers and do stuff, and we'll create you your own custom world in Minecraft and everything. But largely, if you're like one of the first 10 people who actually talk about us this at all, you get whatever you want to.
We're pretty generous anyway.
Well, like I said, it's like, we're transparent on our budget here. And, the transparency on the budget is I'm like dying supporting it, but I support it anyway. Because I think the Cult of Brighter Days and the concepts behind it and the Abascordism philosophy that we're promoting is valuable and useful and can really benefit people, a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. Ever since I've learned about the five tenets and started saying, you know what, that's actually a pretty good system. I've been promoting it everywhere I can think of.
But have you been living it?
I try my best. It's not that different from my philosophy of life to begin with.
Yeah, it's
I try to be kind, but I do realize that when I'm online, my kindness switch goes a little lower. So I've been working on that, uh, trying to be more kind. And there's something about places like social media that there's hardly any consequences to being mean to people. So
yeah.
it's not unusual for people to be meaner in those kinds of spaces. Um, but I've definitely been pushing mandatory is failure.
Well,
Or failure is mandatory. Let me get it right. Failure is mandatory.
yeah, no. It's what is it? Failure is not an option. It's
Yes.
mandatory.
Yes.
You got to put that in there first because
that's the way I do it.
it's not an option. Because it's the whole Yoda saying,
Yeah.
"Do not try." Yada yada yada.
Try not. Do or do not.
Yeah. Well, ours is fail or fail not. No, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, what are we talking about in the first place here?
We're talking about games and
Yeah.
using games to, maybe you don't know. Maybe I don't know. Using games to think about things other than the world being on fire.
I mean, like pinochle, poker.
Well, Pinochle could work.
If you bet enough, I might be able to afford my food bill.
I try not to bet on cards. It's too little that I control in that situation, especially with Pinochle. My parents say that it's a game that was invented by a drunken sailor.
I can believe it. I am
I
not
think it was invented for a drunken sailor that the other sailor wanted to steal as much money as he could. He said, "Oh, did I not explain that the 10 is higher than the king? The 10 is higher than the king."
When we went to Vegas, me and my friend went to Vegas for a experience. That's another story in and of itself. We went into a casino to learn how to do roulette, and we walked up, and we had been playing craps for a while. We sucked at it, so we lost, a bit of money. But we went up to roulette, and we lost like $350 in like 5 minutes. So we have never gotten into roulette. It is just so confusing. I mean, you watch it on TV and they're like, "Oh, you just bet on the number and you bet on the color." And it's like, well, it's a little bit more complicated than that with all the
There's other
side
things
bets
to bet on. Yeah.
because it's like an all or nothing ridiculous odds if you just do color it's not that great of a payoff if you just do color, and it's
If you just do color, it's 50-50. And
yeah. And if you do it on the numbers, it's like you really have to, that's one of the ones you got to break down the odds and everything. But I don't
Yeah.
think those are the type of games we're talking about. I think those games may be a little bit detrimental to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Although we are having a cult outing to Vegas in 2 months, we're going to be holding a cult outing in Vegas over Thanksgiving weekend. Um, it's going to be our biannual. Is it biannual if you do it twice a year?
Semi-annual.
Semi-annual. We'll try to do one in the summer. We'll try to do one in the winter. Cult outreach. Um, what do you call those things when you go out to like a
Retreat?
retreat? Is a cult retreat. And since anybody who's a member of the cult can come and retreat with us, they should let us know if they want to come and retreat. You get better prices on the rooms if you buy them in bulk. So, you know, and I'm only saying that here because I know nobody's going to watch this video and nobody will come into our Discord and ask us about that. So I don't have to worry about people showing up in Vegas and expecting a cheap room. So, and so, yeah, not those games. What games are we talking about?
So we're talking about video games. We're talking about board games. We're talking about role-playing games.
So,
Things where you get together with people or things that you play on your own.
or can play with people or on your own.
Yes,
Like when
yes.
I'm
Like,
on the Minecraft server we have, because there's nobody
mhm.
there, so it's just me walking around doing stuff. But it's still fun. People could join if they want to. Not that I'm
Mm-hmm.
like begging for people to join anything, because I don't beg for stuff like that. But it would be nice occasionally.
So I guess the first thing to talk about is why games offer consistent rules when life doesn't.
Largely because they break if they don't, right?
Well, so I got to thinking about that question myself. And when you've got people involved, people have a tendency to cheat. At least some people do.
No.
And so that's part of why rules get to be not consistent. But when you've got a computer running the game, that's going to lend consistency because
Wait a,
computers don't have motivation.
wait a second. I'm not getting any volume from you. They're just watching me talk. Try it again.
Uh-oh. Hello? Does it make any difference how
Oh no!
close I
Wait,
get?
wait, no, no, wait. That was the Valheim. This
Oh.
I'm still trying to figure stuff out, and so I've got like a ton of volume meters up here,
Mhm.
and so Zoom is at the bottom, and it was scroll down. So I was saying, no, there's no noise. That's because it's from Valheim. There's nobody on there doing anything. So
Ah.
I just decided to derail you there with your whole talk, and in fact,
Yes.
people cheat.
People cheat. And they don't just cheat at games. Sometimes they cheat at life too.
Okay. I'm trying to see where you're going with this in terms of
So,
why would I play a
yeah.
game for people to cheat on me in a game versus cheating on me in life other
See,
than
that's where Valheim has an advantage because the computer runs the adversaries.
yeah. I think that's largely because I turned off player versus player damage.
Yes.
But yeah, you're
See,
right.
you've got control over that kind of thing.
Yes, that's part of it is you have control over those things which you don't have in the real world.
And when you're sitting across the table from somebody and they can see you, then it's a lot ballsier to go ahead and cheat than it is when you're sitting in an office in Washington, D.C. or some other place, uh, and you think you can get away with it.
But now you're bringing politics into it again.
Well, it doesn't even have to be politics. if you're in a corporate office and you say, "Hey, you know what? I know what's happening in my company. I could go sell short my stock
Yeah.
and make a whole lot of money with insider knowledge." Um, and probably nobody will notice, especially if I have some kind of shell company that I can use.
You know what? You know what this is right here.
Um, no.
This keeps the peace at the gaming table. That's all I can say. It's a collector's metal dice from Steve Jackson's The Fantasy Trip, but
Yeah.
it's like heavy weighted solid metal.
Uh-huh.
So like if I get mad at a player and I pitch it at him, it tends to keep things in line.
Yeah. The other thing about gaming groups is that they're small enough that there's no anonymity. They're people that you know. It's a lot different to cheat somebody who might retaliate than it is to cheat somebody who might not even notice for a long time. And
Well, unless you're on like one of the big servers, like if you're on like a Fortnite server or Call of Duty or even a Minecraft server, you
right.
know,
Well, that's
it's
really my point. In When you've got five people sitting around a table together, that's different from 1,000 people that are logged into the same instance of MMORPG.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's one reason that we run a Minecraft server and we run our own Valheim server is because we want that level of control over what we're doing and everything. Not to mention, I like creating stuff more than just playing in somebody else's world.
Yeah.
But why? Okay, so the question here is why? Why are we talking about games other than we like games? I mean,
Well,
there's some philosophy behind it.
yeah. So why don't you tell us about that philosophy?
I have no idea what that philosophy is. I make it up as I go, just like everything else for the cult. No, actually, no. There really is. There really is. It's the basic ideas behind games. And this is a dangerous path. Let's just be honest about it because we've all seen people play games and there's a reason that I don't play like World of Warcraft or Beyond Human, which is an awesome game, but I don't play it because one, it's a time sink, and two, it's something that I don't have good enough control over to not make it a really bad time sink. I don't know if you remember back in the days of Muds and Mushes. You remember
Vaguely.
those? Yeah, back in the ancient days. Back in the ancient days before graphic online games like World of Warcraft or Ultima Online were on. They had these things called Mud and Mushes, multi-user dungeons, and multi-user shared hallucinations. I played Mushes mostly. But
Mm-hmm.
they were like text-based adventures like the old classic Zork.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm sure most of the people who tune in here have no idea what I'm talking about when I say
I
classic
don't know.
text
Our audience
adventures.
skews kind of old.
That's true, but we're trying to. We got a whole bunch more new subscribers too. We're up to like 700.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we hit 1,000 subscribers, I will do the chicken dance, and everything. Yeah, yeah, with the full butt wiggle, I'll do that. No, now nobody's gonna survive. They'll start taking them away. But the
Oh no.
yeah, but the point of the matter is like you know mushes I for at one point there I think I lost like 2 months of my life because I was just buried into this mush. So online games like that are really hard to for me to get into. Mushes were cool though because you could get in there and you could modify the script if you had a high enough permissions level and you could create things in them. And that's really what I like doing is creating things and building things. I mean, I like my destroying things too, but I'm mostly about creation, which is why I'm a big fan of Minecraft. But whether you're creating or destroying things, there's a downside to games that you have to keep in mind when you're doing this, especially from our ideas and point as a cult of constructive nihilism. Obviously sitting on World of Warcraft all day is fairly nihilistic in its actions that you're doing because you're isolating yourself from everybody, you're sealing yourself off, you're focusing on something that is not real and everything, which you're doing even if you're playing at a moderate level. But there we go back to that constructive component of it. And playing games can be constructive even if you do isolate yourself, because it gives you time to recharge your batteries. It gives it time to process stuff. I remember when I was working like 60 hours a week at this job, and I was doing like massive, I was coming home and working for hours and everything. And it was right when Minecraft came out, and I would sit for like 4 hours a night and do Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Largely because the music, just like Valheim, I like music. I could just hang out in the meadow in Valheim, and
Yes.
the music is just chill and everything and everything. So it gives you a place to escape to. It does give you a place to escape to. There's that escapism, but you have to come back from that escapism, and you have to moderate it within a reasonable amount. But that escapism also gives you a sense of stability in your life. One of the toughest things that I've had in my life, and this goes back to more than just computer games, this goes to role-playing games and board games and things like that, is because they are games and because there are rules that surround them, because there are things, you understand and you have to follow the rules. If you're playing a board game, if you're playing a role-playing game and you're GM, you have the ability to create and control the world, which is why I GM most of the time. If you're playing a player, you have the ability to create and control your character. And knowing your GM, you can actually make sure that you're balanced and that you're actually you have guidelines, you have guardrails, you have things like that. Even with a good GM that lets you do anything in the world that you want to do, you're going to roll dice. You're going to beat a number. It gives you a sense of control. If you go home to your family and your dad has been drinking or not been drinking, the things that happen there are well out of your control. It's not like you can roll against your strength to not get hit. Yeah. So games can give you that. Not only can they give you that place to escape to, they can give you that control of a life, even if it's not yours, that makes you feel like at least you have control of something. I'm riding down this hill, this massive hill on a bike, and it's falling apart as I go. But by God, I know this bell that I'm ringing as much as I can is still going to work.
Yeah. So it's a, well, and if you roll badly in your game and you can't avoid being hit, it'll hurt your character, which is lines on a piece of paper. And you may have a reaction to that depending on how close you are to your character, but it's not going to send you to the hospital, whereas it might send your character to the local healer. And so there's a level of abstraction with it as well. Even if there's parts of the game that you don't have a lot of control over, the consequences are considerably different.
You haven't read Dark Dungeon, the little chick track book, because that will tell you.
Yes. I actually have read the various different chick tracts, and Jack Chick does not know what he's talking about.
Did you know they made
there.
a movie? They made a movie out of the Jack Chick track Dark Dungeons. I have to find it for you, but it's a parody. It's not a serious. It's poking fun at the whole thing. But they did make a movie. Some people made a movie out of it. Fan made movie. I'll have to dig it up and everything. But yeah, I being as old as we are, we managed to live through the satanic panic of the '80s with games. I don't think you had to deal with as much as I did, and I didn't have to
I
deal
think you're
with
right.
this.
I
Didn't
didn't really have to deal with it a lot.
I didn't have to deal that much with myself, but I knew friends who actually had it. I mean, like, come on. I mean, I remember going to church camp when I was a freshman in high school and playing a dance Dungeons and Dragons with the guys in my cabin and everything, and the counselor there too. So, I mean, there were some, of course, we were a fairly liberal church too. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But the thing about it is, yeah, these kids nowadays, they don't know what we went through for them. I mean, there was a time you couldn't walk through the halls of your school with a D&D book and not get made fun of. You're welcome, kids.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's interesting to me when I wear a D&D themed t-shirt and the teenager at the counter at fast food says, "Oh, hey, yeah, I play D&D." And I'm like, ugh. Not
Why
only
do
was
you?
I playing D&D before you were born, there's a good chance I was playing D&D before your parents were born. So thank you, but goodness.
Well, what? Half the people in our gaming group are like, we were sitting there one day. So we have a sister site that we're partnering with that is largely focused on games. Cult of Brighter Days isn't going to focus on games entirely. We have those outlets for us, but we also are designing a sister group called Playing AD&D with ADHD, which is designed to give a place for neurodivergent people or people who are tangentially related to neurodivergent people, which is pretty much everybody else when you think about it. I mean, because
Yeah.
everybody has ADHD moments, everybody has anxiety moments, and everybody could use tips and tricks of how to handle it who, at those points in times. But so it's called Playing AD&D with ADHD. And I remember, what was it, two people in our gaming group that has been playing for years together when we talked about this. One of them, I mean, two of them were like, but what does the AD&D stand for? I'm like, oh my God. And I keep forgetting that AD&D hasn't been around. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons hasn't been around since 2000. It's just been Dungeons and Dragons since 2000.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting watching that evolution and everything. And it really makes you old when kids say that. Kids that are 30 some say that.
Yeah. But on the other hand, I had a guy who was about my age in Walmart the other day comment on my Fallout t-shirt. So it balances.
Why? Because old people play Fallout too,
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. Do you play Fallout?
Play Fallout Shelter sometimes.
That's the clicker game, isn't it?
It's
That's
the
the
phone
mobile
format.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. We're not going to talk about serotonin injection phone games. I
It's
don't
not
think
so
that's
much
where.
a clicker thing. It's about resource management.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a fair bit of clicking involved, but you can set up robots to
It's
do some of the more automated stuff.
process automation game to
Yeah.
teach you process automation. I have several games. I like games that teach you real skills like that.
There's not a, I mean, you can put robots on a floor and they will collect all the resources for that floor. So that's about as far as the automation goes.
Oh, okay. So it's not like Satisfactory or anything like that.
No. No.
Yeah. Oh, Satisfactory does now do multiplayer and it does do controller. So that's definitely something because it's one of my favorites to do. Satisfactory and everything. But I mean, going back to it and everything like that, I think, I'm going to go back to role playing games as the pinnacle of community building in the gaming sense. You know, having communities like we do and what we do with like board games and things like that is good. It's good to sit around with friends, talk about stuff, play Trivial Pursuit, see who's stupider than everybody else. That's not what I meant to say. I was not punching down at anybody who's not good at Trivial Pursuit. Trust me, we got the Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit, okay? And I've been like a Lord of the Rings fanatic since I was in elementary school, so that shows you how long that's been. And I got it, and I got the Lord of the Rings trivia set, and I was like, and everybody was like, he's just going to nail this. You know, he's not. And all the questions were from the movies.
Oh, no.
Like almost all the questions were based on the movies, not the books.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, I think I played it like twice, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. It's not like I can't get the questions right for the movies. It's just I like the movies, but they're not. Yeah,
They're not your jam.
I wouldn't say they're not my jam. Maybe
They're
they're
less
more
jammy
my
than...
they're more my jelly, I guess. they're more my jelly. They're not as I still say the scene with Galadriel and Lothlorien drives me crazy, and I just compared to like Ralph Bakshi's animated Lord of the Rings and the same scene with Galadriel in Lothlorien, I'm like, I don't know. They made when Tolkien wrote the book, there was balance between the lighthearted, the singing. Like when The Hobbit came out, first movie of The Hobbit came out, because I didn't watch any of the rest of them because it didn't resemble the book at all. But the one scene that actually was pretty damn accurate to the book that I loved was the unexpected party at the beginning, where all the dwarves come in and they have the dishes and they mess the whole place up and everything like that. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is perfect. I mean, this is exactly the song and everything. And I went to this review, I think it was on Rotten Tomato, and I think I read through all the reviews of that movie. And I think out of the 500 reviews I read through, only one of them said that was a good scene and it was accurate to the book. And almost every other one said, we love this movie except for that one scene. And I'm like, I don't know. It was one of my favorite books. And I like the animated movie. But almost all the dialogue from the animated movie back in the 70s was straight out of the book. Exactly. Yeah, I watched that first movie and I said, look, it's a movie that uses the names from the people from the book. And that was about it. Maybe some costumes, but I'm not going to go any further than that.
Kind of like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
The TV show. Mostly just...
And how many Little House on the Prairie books did you read?
Oh, I read all of them. I grew up in South Dakota.
Well, so did I. I only read the first two.
You didn't even get to South Dakota?
No, I didn't. I didn't get to South Dakota. But it was a good series of books. It's just other series to read at the same time.
Yeah.
Like Lloyd Alexander's.
We're West River though, so The books happen East River, South Dakota, so I can see where they might not
Well, it's all
hit all the
flat
way.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's flat. There's nothing over there except the Corn Palace. My wife did not. My wife did not. I said we should go by the Corn Palace because we're going through there, and she's like, "What do you mean Corn Palace?" And I said, "There's a Corn Palace there. We should go check out the Corn Palace." She goes, "It's not a thing." I go, "Yes, it is a thing." She goes, "No, it's not." So we went there, and she's like, "Oh my God, what the hell is this?" I said, "It's the Corn Palace," and she's like, "This is insane," and everything.
It's like Mitchell's giant ball of twine,
Yeah, but
but better.
but when you walk into it, it looks really cool on the outside. It's got, everything. And then you walk inside and it's like a giant gymnasium with the gymnasium tile that almost looks like there's a basketball court set up in there
Oh yeah,
on the inside.
they play basketball in there.
Oh, do they? Well,
Yeah,
okay. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's
It's a civic center. It's a community activity place to have community activities, but they put corn all around the outside.
maybe we should put lemons and apples around here.
Yeah.
We could
Every
build
year
up.
you get a bunch of new lemons and new apples and nail them onto your
No,
walls.
no, we'd shellac them really good. We'd shellac them so much that they would be like encased in. Maybe we'd just encase them in resin and put a wall of them up.
There you go.
When we
Well,
get
we seem
when
to
we
have strayed a little bit from games.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, not so much so because we're still talking about constructing things and
Yeah.
community and environments.
Well, I was thinking as we were talking about it that uh, gaming isn't so different from other kinds of hobbies. People who spend a lot of time with stamps or coins.
Who in
Um,
the hell does that anymore?
I didn't say anybody does it anymore. I said it's not that
Oh,
different.
okay.
But taking the time to sit
Those
down in a quiet
people
spot
died
and do
out.
quiet things. I
These
still have a
people
coin
died
collection,
out.
except somebody stole all my quarters. I was pretty miffed about that.
Couldn't do laundry for a couple weeks, huh?
Wasn't me.
That's why I said couldn't do laundry for a couple weeks because he didn't have any quarters.
Those were not my laundry quarters.
Somebody else might have needed to do laundry.
Somebody else needed something badly enough that they thought that my collection of quarters was a valid place to go. And that's all I'm going to say on that topic.
Well, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
Thank you.
It was more recently than any time you had access to my quarters. So,
Oh, okay. Did I have access to your quarters? Because I might have done that if I knew that I had access to them. Oh, wait. No. Anyway.
I have had that collection for a long time, or I did
Yeah.
have that collection for a long time.
You may still
Anyway.
have it in your heart.
I've got replacements to some degree, but I haven't spent any time sorting them all out yet. I'm waiting for an opportune time.
You have the spirit in your heart. That coin collection will always be with you.
Yep.
Here.
Yep. Anyway, we're going off topic again.
Well, your quarters in gaming is a good segue. I mean, I can't count how many quarters I wasted on games back in the day. And those rules were pretty. See, that was the nice thing about D&D, because that was the back at the same time, is because I only needed to have my rule book, my box set, and enough money to buy graph paper to draw maps, because that was back before graph paper was like normal. So you had to go down to the stationery store and you had to buy graph paper, 10 cents a sheet and everything.
Yeah.
So you could draw it. I actually printed up my own. My dad had a print shop and I learned how to print, and I printed up my own graph paper, which was slightly out of alignment on several of the lines. It was one of those old printers where you had to put the metal into the block, and it was a Heidelberg press, so it went like that. And you had to line it up perfect, and it was a couple of them were like just a fraction off. So the yeah, and it was in purple ink too,
Yeah.
so it was sort of weird.
I remember being able to get regular uh, square graph paper in the school supplies section
Of the
at
store.
the yeah, at the grocery store.
Yeah, you lived in Spearfish. I lived in Belfouche.
Mm-hmm.
You were the
Yep.
big town.
Yes.
Yeah, we were the little town
I
and
gotta drive a
everything.
half an hour to find any place that might have graph paper.
Yeah, no,
Well,
there was a
down in the
stationery
basement of the
store.
down in the basement of the pharmacy, they've got a bunch of dime store stuff. They might have graph paper down there.
They had a stationery store. That was my favorite store to go into. Notebooks and pens, all sorts of pens, and graph paper and folders and stuff you could sort all your gaming things into
Mm-hmm.
and everything. God, I was such a geek. Thank God I grew out of it. Oh, wait. No, I didn't. So, gaming, I mean, but yeah.
It's escapism, but it's also a chance to recharge, to give you a place to. It's kind of like uh, dreaming while you're asleep. That your body may be resting, but your mind is sorting through everything. And hobbies like gaming can give you another option for that kind of thing, where you're disconnecting from the real world, and maybe it's like um, coin collecting, where you're sorting through kind of mindless but not completely mindless tasks, or maybe it's writing, where it's more of a creative endeavor. Um, but it gives you an opportunity to let your mind wander a little bit
Well, and it gives you some semblance of control.
and some control.
Your mind is wandering, but you have some semblance of control. Plus, it's not passive. I
Hmm.
mean, the difference between passive entertainment and active entertainment is really a big deal when you think about it.
Hmm.
Watching TV, you're passively, you know, consuming somebody else's ideas, somebody else's, and, one of the big things with a book versus a TV series is like, at least when you're reading a book, you're still engaging your creativity and your imagination to visualize the scenes or things like that. Whereas
Hmm.
even with a TV or a movie, you're just, consuming the visualization of the
Yeah.
information and everything. Now,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love pictures in my role playing game books and I love graphics in my video games. Those text adventures drove me crazy
Hmm.
back in the day. But
Yeah. But there's a range of things. Writing is very creative. Reading is less so, but still has some creative aspects to it. Um, Really well done TV, even though it's giving you a lot of presentation, visualizations that you don't have to do. If it's really well written, there's puzzles that you can work on underneath. And then there's mindless pap, like uh, reality shows where you're just watching other people have drama.
okay, we're not going to get into the reality show of Alone though, because that's the type of drama I don't mind watching.
Well, and that's a little different too, because the people that are on the show are creating
The
something that
content
eventually gets
themselves,
edited. But yeah, they're creating
yeah,
their own content, narrating their own life and
yeah.
making their own decisions. And obviously, there's an editor between them and you, but still, it's a little different from Love Island.
Have you seen that there's a big influx and push nowadays towards solo role playing games.
I have not heard that.
Yeah, there's a fairly big community of solo role playing games out that have been created and people who promote it and everything. And it's not the same as like when we were playing when we first started playing like Ruin Quest, and Chaosium brought out several solo adventures for Ruin Quest. You know, Steve Zaxxon Games brought out several solo adventures for GURPS when GURPS first came out, but they were much more like the choose your own adventure paragraph books. Whereas these other solo role playing games they have coming out now are much more like interactive systems where you're like doing a hex crawl in D&D where you have a hex of the area around where your character is wilderness wise, and so you roll for what the hex you move into is terrain wise, and then you roll for what's in there, and then you can roll for the what you encounter inside there. It doesn't give you a large deep, from what I've seen, doesn't give you a large deep berth of role playing like some of our gaming groups, which is mostly talk and very little actual, combat and everything. So they tend to be more combat oriented, but I mean, it's something you can do by yourself, and there's a big push towards it and everything. And so even if you're not like a video gamer, you're more of a pen and paper gamer, there's a lot more options out there now than there used to be in the last 20 years, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. Community. We're going to a game convention next weekend. Instead of doing our traditional get together, our real, I don't know.
Ritual?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid, cult terminology because, that was we know that was not the best choice in the world, but we're leaning into it.
Yeah.
But we are, but we're not, but we are. But we're going to be going out to Rincon Gaming Convention in Tucson. I'll be running some games out there for people, including Monty Cook's Invisible Sun and No Thank You Evil, which you helped me set up. And we, which is a game designed for 6 to 12-year-olds. And we're using a Monty Cook system designed for kids 4 to 13. Well, actually it's 4 to adult, because I've had adult groups play it too. And they had tons of fun in it too. But it was basically, it's a No Thank You Evil, but we're running Scooby Thulu, which is a Call of Cthulhu Scooby-Doo crossover game for 4 to 12-year-olds. So, yeah, if you really want to see something weird, and you're in the area, come out. It's 3-day tabletop gaming convention hosted by the Southern Arizona Gaming Association. And it's the Rincon Game Festival. So it's being held out at the Casino del Sol out here. And I say that confident that nobody who's watching this all the way through even has a remote idea of where Casino del Sol is. So,
yeah. Well, if they're interested, I'm sure they can figure out how to Google it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, if they're interested, then they can go into the Discord chat and prove me wrong. See how that works?
Yeah. They can come ask questions. Ask us.
I don't think they can ask questions because I sure as hell am not going to answer them. I don't plan on doing that. So that being said, I can't think of anything else to say. You said that one time back in the day, back in college, when we were setting up the first role-playing convention for for South Dakota. We ran the first role playing convention in South Dakota, Rapid City, in what, 1992, something like that. It,
Maybe, or 91.
now I know when we set that up, I know we had a newspaper interview from somebody,
Hmm.
and I said something that you thought was profound at the time, and I have no idea what the hell I said. But I remember
Well,
you came to me and you said, somebody wise said this to me. I go, that's pretty damn clever and everything like that. Who said that? You're like, you said it. Don't you remember? And I'm like, no, I don't remember saying anything like that.
oh, I said something like that recently. Where did I say that?
I have no
I
idea.
don't remember what it was, but I remember saying something along those lines recently. And then,
Something about how role playing games are educational and community building, even though people
oh,
consider them escapism fantasy. But it actually was a pretty good paragraph of something I said.
I do remember watching you be interviewed, and they were wondering about role-playing games, and you made a comparison to classic board games like Monopoly, and you thought they were really kind of terrible. Um, and that particular game for good reason, because it wasn't designed to be a game, really, to be fun, but a way to demonstrate how terrible capitalism was.
Yeah.
And that's why it's no fun. Uh, but you said in the games that we're playing, this is a cooperative venture where we're all on the same side and working together to uh, accomplish things. Whereas in Monopoly, we're all at each other's throats trying to destroy each other.
Yeah.
And so many board games of that era are very much in that same kind of mold. Um, and it's not all bad. There are definitely games that are less troublesome than Monopoly in particular. Um, but it's
We
only been more recently that we've had cooperative games become common.
Yeah, I know, because I used to play those war games. I loved the war games. I didn't like Monopoly, but, pull out Third Reich so I could fight the entire, European front of World War II. I was like, I'm
Hmm.
down for that. And that's pretty competitive, too. I don't know. I must have been, I don't know. Was I drunk at the time when I said that? I don't remember. I,
uh, Probably not. It was daytime.
okay. Wait a minute. What's that supposed to mean?
Most of the drinking that I witnessed happened at parties at night.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, not even parties. But anyway, I'm gonna take that whole thing back. Anyway, that joke was brought to you by courtesy of Rip Taylor.
So, anyway,
Games,
games.
games. We'll probably talk more about games. In fact, we
Right.
talk about games and play games live. At least one of us does every Monday. Occasionally,
Hmm.
sometimes. We don't know when, but every Monday when we do. We were
Yes.
trying to do it every day for like half an hour, so we could get longer form videos up and everything like that. But for some reason, somebody's highly inconsistent in his scheduling and announcement and putting this stuff together. And part of that is because he's the only one who knows how to put the stuff together video wise. This is
Hmm.
a plea for people out there who actually got this far in the video. We could use help. Come help us do some of this stuff. We all have real jobs. We are all like
Well,
overworked. Uh, we are all going to have real jobs in the near future. We are all overworked. That's one reason we depend upon AI a lot. We largely come on here on Saturdays just to prove to people that there actually is real people behind this thing
hmm,
and that we're not just out here to make money because we're not making
AI
any
would
money at
definitely
all.
not do this kind of hair. So,
It's true. AI wouldn't do this here either. And AI wouldn't
The
say the stupid stuff I do most of the time.
the AI is very kind when it renders me into our videos, so I'll just say
Have
thank
you
you now.
noticed? Have you noticed that I'm hardly in any of the images for the cult?
I mostly notice
There's,
me,
I've been in
and I
like
can kind of
two.
pick out Dr. Jess and
Oh yeah, Dr. Jess and Sarah are in there, but yeah, me, I think I'm in like 3 videos out of the 160 some odd we have. AI
yes.
does not like me. I don't know who put those bots together.
I do.
Yeah, I know who put them together too, and they do not like the guy that put them together. That's all I gotta say. Well, anyway, that does take us up to the top of the hour, and so we've done our community service for today. You can join us. That was a joke, people. We're not doing community. We don't have to do community. We're here because we want to.
We serve the community.
Yes, it is community service for the Cult of Brighter Days, isn't it?
Yep.
Wow, I was accurate without even realizing I was accurate yet again.
You're smarter than you give yourself credit for.
People say that, and then then my AI bot says, "No, you're not," and I really should have programmed those guys better. But anyway, join us next week. Well, first off, go sign up for the Discord server. Show up. If you play Minecraft, if you play Valheim, pop in there, talk to us. Step Pope Richard is admin for the Valheim server. Orion, our intern, is admin for the Minecraft server. I'm occasionally around doing stuff. Not enough from what certain people say, but I'm around doing stuff. And so pop in the Discord, join us up, look for our new show, Constructing Brighter Days, which, like I said, is when the guy in charge of it actually remembers to do it. He tries. He really tries. And then next week, we're going to be at Rincon Game Convention, and the week after that we'll be back here again with Dr. Jess and Bishop Sarah, and Richard can have the day off if he wants, because I'm not going to make him show up every single time. Somehow I have to, but you get my point and everything.
If you're in Northeast Wyoming, drop by.
Me or the rest of the people watching this?
Both.
Okay, me and the other person who's actually watched this to the end. I think that's you, though, so that doesn't count.
I think it is.
We did get views last time after we were done, so, I'm sure if they listen to us on triple speed so we sound like chipmunks, we might be interesting. Anyway, all right, everybody, check out our Patreon page, check out our other channels, check out the website, because each of those videos we put up every day, every weekday, each of those videos has an article that goes with it with more detail than what's in the video, and you guys would probably find the articles just as good or more informative than the videos if you like the videos. And we will talk to you guys later. Say goodbye.
From the northeast corner of Wyoming, I'm Step Pope Richard.
And Asta. I'm Michael Henderson. I'm Michael I'm Michael Henderson Dorland. Try to figure out which last name is real. And we'll talk to you guys later.